Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mia Oyo and I teach creative people how to sell their art online. And in today's video, I have gathered a list of Etsy print-on-demand shop ideas. And I know that a lot of people, when they start print-on-demand, they just start, especially with Etsy. And they have a few nice designs that maybe they've tested on Redbubble. So they put them on, some t-shirts and then on a mug, and then on, hoodies, and then they find a keychain or on tumblers. And as they go along, they spend a lot of time just, coming up with new ideas, and they end up being too creative for their own good with a shop that has a different type of product in it, like so many different types of products and different types of designs. And the thing is, while you can definitely take a bunch of items and put them together on an Etsy shop and it can sell, it needs to be within the same niche or with logic. Otherwise, it will be very hard to market it, very hard to find an audience that will actually be interested in all of your posts and not just one. Very hard to find people who will go into your Etsy shop and buy more than one item. And it's not just that, it's also about what happens to a person when they come into your store. So if someone is looking for like Mom Life t-shirts and she looks for it on Etsy, and she sees one of your Mom Life t-shirts and she goes in, maybe she likes it, maybe she doesn't, so she wants to see what other t-shirts you have, and she goes into your other t-shirts and there is nothing about Mom Life. And that person that had an interest in a certain niche and came into your store because of that niche now has nothing to do in your store other than that one product. And what I was trying to do here with the Etsy print-on-demand shop ideas list is to basically find these shop ideas that either have a certain product in common or a certain niche based on the audience of the product or a certain niche in terms of the design. And I actually think that, as much as I will talk about this now, this will become way clearer once I start making the actual list. And obviously that this list also applies to Shopify. You can also apply all of these concepts and ideas to Shopify and open a Shopify store with one of these niches or shop ideas for Etsy, because it is print on demand. And in order for this to be something that you can also use to Shopify if you want, all the items on my list are from Printful or Guten that integrate both with Etsy and with Shopify, and also with WooCommerce if you want to do it with your own WordPress shop. I do know that a lot of people really do prefer doing print on demand on Shopify, and I think that it's sort of like a split way between the people who say like, you really need to get your traffic from Etsy versus on Shopify you have less fees, or you can really, just do whatever you want with the branding, with the design, with the concept, plus you have no competition. And I'm sort of in the middle of both of these because I can see the attraction for both, because even if I'm looking at it from the printables point of view, it is, do I have my own audience? Do I have my own space in it? Or, do I want to get traffic from a platform, but then also my competitors are on it? And I can see both ways for it. And while this list also can be used for Shopify, I actually made it while looking into Etsy a bit and Etsy SEO and Etsy SEO tools. We will have a full video about Etsy SEO and Etsy SEO. It's really hard to say it a lot, Etsy SEO. So we'll have a video on Etsy SEO and Etsy SEO tools, as well as how to know what's trending on Etsy later on in the month of May. But, we are on today, not in May. So for today with the Etsy print-on-demand shop ideas, what I want to do is, once I give you a shop idea, and I have 8 ideas written down, once I give you a shop idea, I can also give you a little bit pointers on where to get good resources from, whether it's mockups or graphics or whatever you need to do to get it started, and a bit of tips specifically on, marketing this niche, or more, just a little bit pointers on that specific print-on-demand shop idea. And if one of these shop ideas as a concept resonate with you and you want to ask a bit more about it, like more pointers or more tips, feel free to comment down below in the comment section and I'll be happy to help. If you are watching this video as a live premiere, you might have noticed that I'm on the live chat, kind of talking to you right now and typing in. And no, I'm not writing hands-free. Right now, this video was pre-recorded and pre-edited earlier on today. And Live Premiere is just a really cool YouTube feature that allows me to basically upload a video onto YouTube. And for the very first time that it has been shown on YouTube, I get to watch it with you guys and have a live chat. during this live chat, if you have a very specific question about something that I'm doing, you can ask me right away, which is very convenient. Which means, let's say I was showing you an item from Printful and you didn't hear the word Printful and you're just looking at the item now. You can just ask me, May, where is the platform for this item? And I'll answer you right away. And honestly, I think that in the past few weeks, our live chats has become a bit less professional and a little bit more like, personal and fun. And it's actually pretty amazing to me. So thank you guys. Just, watching people chat up and talk about their day or what we're eating. And every time I say that, I think about how much I want to order pizza right now. Because I think that I've been eating pizza in so many live chats. And if you want to join this fun live chat, whether it's from professional reasons or from personal reasons, and you're watching this not as a live premiere, you can always check out my Instagram, may.arroyo. I post on my story whenever a live chat or a live premiere is pending, or join our growing Facebook community, and I'll leave a link to that down below. Throughout this video, I'm using some cool designs that I made, some designs that I got from Creative Fabrica, and I'm using various mock-ups, either from the platforms themselves, like the print-on-demand sites, or from Placeit. And if you liked any of the things that I've been showing you, you could just look at the description down below, because I will leave links down below for basically everything that I was using, unless of course it was my design, which might be available on Etsy in the near future. I'm really looking into having my store basically on Etsy provide print-on-demand files and graphics, and I'm terribly sorry for the birds. They've been chirping all day. I've already started this video a million times, so I'm just going to leave it with the birds. Let me know if you mind. Just before we get started, I would like to remind you that we had the first shop review video yesterday, and I did a shop review video for 4 Redbubble shops with Elizabeth K, and it was so much fun. And I really do plan on having these shop reviews. Some of them would be just me in case I don't have anyone to film with, and some of them would be with other people. And I've been getting questions, do I only review Redbubble shops? And the answer is no. So you will find a link down below in the description for Google Forms for shop reviews, and you can submit any type of shop: Etsy, Society6, Redbubble, Zazzle, Teachip, TeePublic. If you have your own print-on-demand Shopify store or digital download Shopify store, anything that you will put there. The thing is, I'm just going to gather it up. So like I'm going to do like Etsy shops, I'm going to do Society6. So the more you guys send me, the more videos I can make with your designs. And I'm really looking forward to making like an Etsy shop review, mostly for digital downloads. But that doesn't mean you can't submit any other link. The more you submit, the more videos I'm going to make. It's as simple as that. And another form you're going to find in the description below is a form for Ask Me Anything questions, which I'm planning on doing an Ask Me Anything video coming up in May. So it's funny, it's like the month of May. So I'm planning to do an Ask Me Anything video in the month of May, and the Ask Me Anything questions can be either about me, if you want to know something about my personal life, about my professional life. If you want to tell me something about your professional life and ask for my opinion or a question. If you do want to ask something that relates to your professional life or what you plan on doing, please be specific with your question. Because, for example, if you tell me what is the best print-on-demand item to design to, I need a lot more information. Do you want to work with Shopify? Do you want to work with Etsy? What is the price range you're looking for? What is your niche? What is your target audience? And I won't be able to ask you that question before the Ask Me Anything video. And I have been getting some comments from people on the Ask Me Anything telling me that, they don't want to ask any personal questions because they just want me to tell what I want to tell. So the thing is, feel free to ask me any personal question that you want. And I appreciate you guys, protecting me and telling me I don't owe anyone anything. I know that. And if a question is going to be out of line, or if a question is going to be too personal, I'm just not going to answer it. But if there's anything that you want to know, because I always don't know like what people want me to talk about when it comes to my personal life. So just feel free to ask. You could also ask anything relating to YouTube. I know a lot of people have been asking, stuff about how I learn video editing, or what software do I use, or how much money people from YouTube make. All of these questions, if they are interesting to you, you could find the Google form for Ask Me Anything down below. And right now, I'm going to stop yapping. I'm going to move, because on the other side of me, I'm going to show you basically the thing that I'm talking about at the moment. And we're just going to start with a list of 8 Etsy print-on-demand shop ideas. Etsy shop idea number 1. Everything relating to pet items, especially dogs. And the reason why I'm saying especially dogs is Not very specific, but I kind of really like dogs, but obviously you can do it for cats or for pets in general. There's a rapid and growing interest in anything relating to pets, and I remember seeing something at the late stages of 2020 that due to coronavirus, there have been actually statistics about people adopting more dogs, people adopting more cats. And while there has always been people who treat their pets as if they were their kids and, shop for them and spoil them and celebrate their birthdays and really treat them as if they were family members, this has been growing and growing since the beginning of coronavirus with people, basically at home with their pets all day, and your pet is your family. And this has been a rapidly growing niche with people looking for, multiple accessory ideas for their pets, like pet bandanas and pet tops to, photograph their dogs for Instagram. And this has been an amazing niche, and Etsy has been really leading with it. I don't see many print-on-demand platforms, not websites and suppliers, but true platforms like Redbubble that have, dog accessories or pet accessories. While you have multiple print-on-demand suppliers that will basically provide you with pet products and dog products, I think that Printful is sort of the best combination for that, is sort of the best resource for that, for the reason that they have so many pet items. It's amazing. I even wrote down their list here. So they have pet tank tops, pet bandanas on a collar or without a collar, pet tags, pet beds, and pet bowls. And what you can see on the side here is a beautiful pet bowl with a design that I made of a seamless pattern of hearts. And I actually got this mock-up from Placeit, because while Placeit doesn't have yet, I think that we should ask them to make them. While they don't yet have all of these pet like shirts and stuff like that mock-ups, they do have pet bowls and they do have pet bandanas and dog bandanas, and you can find a link to that down below. If you are thinking about setting up a shop that is, dogs or pet stuff on Etsy, here are a few pointers that might help you out. The first is, when you're doing something like this, it means that you are branding yourself and promoting yourself as a niche. And while the Pinterest Redbubble tutorial that I have done a few months ago really still applies, I do believe that an Instagram video that we have coming up next on the 30th of this month, 30th of April, will really help you out, because we're going to be talking about Instagram marketing as a niche. And in that case, the niche is, pet supply. And another thing that you really need to remember is that these things will come easier to you if you actually have a dog for yourself, if you actually have a dog to take photos of this thing with, and if you actually order some of your items. But regardless of ordering, as I said before, you could find really cute mock-ups on Placeit. Another thing that you should do if you set up a store is to make sure that some of the designs that you have, or most of the designs that you have, will be available on pretty much all of the types of items. So for example, if you're having like a pet bandana that is on the color of the dog, and you have, the pet bandanas who are not on the color of the dog, every seamless pattern, every design concept that you upload, please upload to both. So people could buy either this one or this one if they like the design. And also make sure that they would be available on other things, because if I'm looking at this as a former pet owner, if you have a nice design on a pet bed, you can also put it on a pet bowl and, have a set. So the pet could have the bed and the pet bowl next to it, and it will look similar. So make sure that you really optimize with your designs to make sure that if a design can be activated on all the products that you're using, please activate it on everything. Moving up next to Etsy print-on-demand shop idea number 2, which is print-on-demand wall art of maps. And this topic has been trending so much on Etsy, and the reason why it's here, even though that a lot of people think that this is oversaturated, is because I have seen so many Etsy stores in the past year that sell wall art of maps, like a map of the United States, a map of a certain city in the United States, a certain state, a map of one of the cities in Australia. And even though that I've seen this shop idea many times, I remember that while I was researching it and while I was looking into it, either this morning or a few days ago or 2 months ago, whenever I was looking into stores that were doing the right thing, they had sales, even if they were new. And I'm not talking that every shop will have sales. Obviously, I have seen shops that sell, print-on-demand maps for wall art that had no sales, but these shops had really bad descriptions. Like, they were not really telling what the product is about. Their keyword work was wrong. that title was either too long or too short, and the mock-ups weren't pretty. But whenever I went into a store and saw, maps on wall art of like any kind of wall art, like framed prints and canvases and just prints without frames, I remember looking into these stores, and once they had good mock-ups and they had a good title and good SEO and a good description, they almost all had sales. So I'm guessing that while this might seem like an oversaturated niche, this is also quite trending on Etsy right now. So I really do see potential in it. And if you are not a graphic designer, if you don't know how to take a map from Google or from these places and sort of make it bigger and draw it yourself and really make sure that it's available on the big ticket items like the larger wall art pieces, you can find really, really good maps for print-on-demand use on Creative Fabrica. Actually, the one that you see here is from Creative Fabrica. I downloaded it this morning using my all-access print-on-demand pass. And I don't know if you remember, but people from this channel get a 30% off on their Creative Fabrica all-access print-on-demand subscription. So I downloaded it this morning, mostly, for this tutorial, but I am also thinking of maybe making some things with this for Redbubble, just finding cities that I really love and maybe adding like some cool graphics on them. And I'll keep you updated if this is something that I'm going to do. But again, this is another print-on-demand Etsy shop idea to create wall art with maps. And the best tip I can give you in this arena is high quality mockups, either with Canva or with Placeit, because what differentiated people that I've seen so far was mainly the mockup quality and basically just showing, the sizes, the different types of wall art that they can get and how it looks on different types of walls and home decor settings. Another tip that can help you with these kind of stores is I have seen successful stores who give out discounts when people buy 2 or 3 items. And the reason for that is because I really do know people who would want to use 3 of those, but you have to have a really big variety. And just think about it. For example, a mom that has, 3 kids in the United States and they all live in a different city or a different state, she can have, a wall with 3 of these prints, or she could buy 3 prints for her kids, whether it's the same one, like she could buy, like if she has 3 kids that moved away, she could buy their hometown map and basically give one for each and every one of them. So if you have a discount for volume, that could work for you, but that also requires you to have a large variety of maps. And not just that, make sure to note down to people, because let's say I can find 400 print-on-demand maps. I'm not going to just, upload all of them to Etsy. That, even if I do, it will take time. But what I can do is to write down at any of the listing descriptions, if you have a different city that you want, please contact me and I'll let you know if I can make a map for you for that city. And that is something that could really help you out. And this is something that you cannot do on Redbubble. So it's kind of one of the reasons why doing print-on-demand on Etsy can be so special. Print-on-demand Etsy shop idea number 3, clothing. I think it's the most boring one. I have seen so many people who sell clothing on Etsy and fail. So many people who sell t-shirts and fail. So many people who make a full store with 800 products, I'm not even joking, and fail. And the reason for that is they either didn't have enough of a variety of clothing. They had mistakes in terms of, calling a t-shirt unisex, tagging it for women, and only using the mock-up with a male model. I've seen people who say like unisex and only use a woman. And I've seen people who just write down a size like option, but no size chart. And there have been so many people making so many mistakes that it really does make sense why so many print-on-demand Etsy shops that sell apparel and clothing fail. And one of the main reasons they fail is either lack of interesting designs or the fact that the designs have no mutual concept. So if you are looking into basically setting up a clothing Etsy shop, 1, choose one supplier that you're comfortable working with. And I have not listed any supplier here because basically every print-on-demand supplier has clothes. So choose one and work just with that one and make sure that, that you will have, I think, less hassle and trying to looking into where the different items are coming from, and really try and look into Printful and Printify and see the variety of clothing that they have and their shipping prices. And one more thing, just try to find like a concept or a niche, or like, I know stores that do like awareness t-shirts, and I'm not saying like autism awareness or PTSD awareness, but sort of like phrases that go along with it. So for example, I remember seeing something in the lines of, my son is my world, hashtag autism awareness, or autism mom. And I have seen people writing down t-shirts of proud, tough, strong, and determined, or in terms, PTSD. It's one of my favorites. And you can even go like, just the concept of being funny t-shirts, or t-shirts for mom, t-shirts for parents, but really make sure that you are niched in terms of the concept that is printed on the t-shirts. As well as, you can find nice mock-ups with some of these big companies, but the mock-ups will most likely look the same. Placeit has amazing apparel mock-ups like the mock-up that you see right here. And not only that, they also have mock-ups with pets. So for example, if you're doing like a dog mom or a dog dad, they actually have mock-ups of people wearing t-shirts and holding their dog. And they also have clothing mock-up videos, which will totally spruce up your Instagram and whatever it is that you are doing. And actually, the biggest tip I can give you for opening an Etsy shop for clothing items would be to watch tomorrow's video, which will be Instagram Marketing Tutorial Part 2 as a clothing brand. And moving on to number 4, the life of a yogi, which is everything relating into yoga. And the thing is that here we sort of have a mix of items that are held under a really nice concept. So what I was thinking about would be sports bra, leggings, and yoga mats. And what you can see here on the side is a sport bra I designed with Printful. They also have leggings, but for yoga mats, I found good yoga mats on Kittl, that because I really couldn't find them on Printful, Pinfy. I don't know if I was like looking wrong or if they're not there, but I found this yoga mat on Kittl, and Kittl obviously integrates with Etsy as well as with Shopify, and you can open a store that is basically about yoga. And I think it's the exact same thing that I said about the dogs or like the pet products. One of the most important things if you decide to open this yoga kind of, store is to make sure that your patterns and designs are consistent. So if, for example, you made like a beautiful seamless pattern of, flowers, make it available on leggings, on a sport bra, and on a yoga mat in case people go in, like the pattern, but want a different product, or if people want to have sets. You can also create them in a sort of different pattern vibe. So for example, if you have a pattern of like pink and blue flowers over white, put it on all the items, but also make it over black so people can make a combination. So for example, I could have my yoga mat with a white background and my bra and leggings with the black one. So it's sort of like a mix color set. However, this idea, in my eyes, really relates to how much you actually know yoga. Because if you do yoga in your real life, you have a very valuable tool. For example, post yoga videos on Instagram, and the link in bio is to your Etsy store that sells yoga products. I would also recommend ordering some of these products for yourself and actually actively using them. I have seen a lot of people with these types of shops, whether they are about yoga or being vegan or being vegetarian or, living a life of an LGBTQ community member. But I have seen people that have shops with these concepts or these niches of these lifestyles, and their entire Instagram marketing account has nothing to do with the product in terms of direct sale. So they wouldn't just upload their leggings. It was like a woman, she ordered a legging for herself from her own store, and she would make videos working out, and there's a link to her leggings. Or she would make videos, with a sport bra, drinking her morning smoothie before she comes out to work out. And, if you want to get this sport bra, just go into my link in bio. But the message about it was, I'm drinking a healthy morning smoothie and I'm doing yoga, which relates to people more than please buy this. So if you are doing yoga, this could be really good for you. You could also continuously tag other people who do yoga on Instagram and share them on your story to get more traction. And if this is something that is interesting to you, I think we're going to be talking about this a bit more on the Instagram niche video. But if you want to know like how to make money from, being sort of an influencer on Instagram, please let me know. I would be happy to make a video about that. Moving on from the life of a yogi to I got confused. To number 5, Mermaid Life, because apparently a lot of women throughout the ages of 20 and 40 decide that they want to spend their money on apparel that will make them look like a mermaid. And I'm saying this cynically while I buy these things myself, because Mermaid Life is so much my trend. And the thing is that with shops with this concept of a Mermaid Life, it really is just about everything, because you can have like, Kittl has like compact mirrors that you can put on designs like patterns of mermaids on. You can make like iPhone covers with mermaids on. You can make mugs with mermaid patterns, or with just like, I'm a mermaid. You can make t-shirts, you can make bras, you can make swimwear, you can have a variety of items. So what I would recommend, if this is a niche that is for you, if you would like to explore it a bit more, is to sort of focus on 7 or 8 print-on-demand items. That will basically also be your 7 or 8 print-on-demand like categories on your Etsy store, like sections, and make sure that these designs go just about, on anything. Just like you can see here with this cute girl holding an iPhone that has like mermaid tail on it. That is like a magical mermaid tail that I actually downloaded from Creative Fabrica as a pattern from a shop that is a member of the Print on Demand sort of like membership. So I think it was like 14 different seamless patterns in different colors of that tail. So that is instantly, 14 designs on iPhones, and then 14 designs on a Samsung, and then 14 mug designs, 14 bra designs, 14 leggings. You could just make a lot of products with these as long as you keep consistent. And you can also feel free to use any kind of text design on t-shirts. I think that when I did the place it video a few days ago, I did a design that is I'm a mermaid, or M is for mermaid, and I actually did it with their logo editor, so you can go ahead and check out that video. I'm going to leave a link to that down below, because there are a lot of options for you to do when it comes to mermaids on Placeit. One of the most important things to remember about marketing this type of shop on Instagram or on Facebook or any other type of social media platform is to just lean into the lifestyle. And that means that you could also download photos of mermaids from Pixabay, not to sell them, but to just put them on your Instagram and write down, today I'm a mermaid, or write down like mermaid quotes, or just everything about loving the ocean, uploading photos of the beach, and photos of corals or photos of seashells, and just really leaning into the niche and less into the items. And number 6, we have an Etsy print on demand store that requires you to have no design skills, and that is engraved jewelry, or as it is trending, name necklaces, because Printful actually has engraved necklaces options as well as earrings and bracelets, but the necklaces really got to mine. And the only thing that you need to do when you want to sell them is go in, type in the name of the person and choose the font, and that's it. It engraves it automatically with this font. What you will need to do, if this is something that is interesting to you, is 1, display it variously. So if they have like with this engraved necklace, they have I think 4 types of engraved necklaces, and each and every one of them has 4 colors. Like, you have the silver, you have the gold, you have the rose gold, and another one that I forgot. I think white gold as well. And what you can do is that you, instead of having like one listing for all of these, you could just have 16 listings straight up with all of them. And you can also have listings that are not customized, that people don't have the option to put in their name on it, but like love, romantic, feeling good, good morning, just hopeful, optimistic, yogi, vegan, whatever, and not make name necklaces, but sort of like quote or inspirational necklaces, or just engraved necklaces. And if you decide to do custom name necklaces, we have a video coming up in 2 days about how to make basically customized items for print on demand on Etsy, just sort of going through your options that you have with different suppliers. And another thing that can help you out really with setting up a store for engraved name necklaces is basically going onto Printful and checking out the most, like the most beautiful types of fonts that you can have, and sort of creating on Canva these types of fonts and having people choose and send you what kind of font they want. So it's really very customized product if they can have their name necklace in the font that they want. And you can also do that for the mockups. So you can make like various different types of fonts and just, download all of these mockups to actually show people how it looks on the necklace. And as I said in the beginning, this might not require design skills to actually make the product, because it's pretty much automatic when you just type in the word, but it does require design skills and making the mockups or making some of the banners for the Etsy photos that will be in each and every one of these product photos, as well as knowledge into Etsy SEO, because you have to know how to correctly phrase everything you're doing if you want to succeed with this sort of niche. And you also have to remember sort of like the big holidays. And remember, when people want to buy print-on-demand items for any kind of occasion, they need to do it about a month and a half before or a month before. So if, for example, there is going to be Mother's Day, pretty much a month and a half before that, you should start with your ads for Mother's Day or with your Mother's Day special on Etsy. Etsy print-on-demand shop idea number 7 that I think is sort of exactly now with the timing is an Etsy shop for summer things. And when I say summer things, I mean 3 types of items. 1, flip-flops that I have found on Printful. 2, swimwear that I also found on Printful as well as on Printify. But if you want to have one shop with all of them, just have it in one place. And 3, a beach towel, also available on Printful and Printify. And basically having a shop that has what people need for the summertime. They have a bathing suit, they have flip-flops, and they have beach towels. And like I said, with all of the other store ideas, please be consistent. And if you have a nice pattern or a nice design concept, make it available on all of your items. With this type of store, please use Placeit for mockups. They have beautiful mockups of people on the beach and sort of like beach life and beach vibe that could really help you out. When promoting this type of store on Instagram, you can also try and find like good things about summer, like even just a post that says, who's happy that it's summer, or I'm happy that it's summer, or I can't wait to go to the beach. Or just make sure that your posts are sort of like 50% about your product and 50% just about loving summer. You can even take, a photo of a watermelon or stuff like that and really lay into feeling that summer vibe. And you know what? If you don't think that it's summer in your country, just remember, summer is always in some half of the world, and some people buy bathing suits even in winter, whether it's for vacation or for their jacuzzi and hot tub. And I can't believe it just happened, but we are at number 8 with magnets, because magnets are still a thing. People still buy them, still put them on the fridge, and Printify has some really cool magnets that you can design. I actually designed this owl here, and the mock-up was from Printify itself, and their way of designing is really comfortable because I just uploaded on the owl and then they gave me the choice to make the background. And you can also make this type of product personalized in a way that people can order, photo magnets of themselves, or, magnets with names of people from their family. You can make funny magnets, you can make like pretty magnets, you can make various types of magnets, as well as sort of like, magnets that fit together. Like I know a lot of people like to put a magnet on their dishwasher if it's empty, or if if it's clean, or if it's ready, sort of like the stages that you have on your dishwasher. And I also do know that a lot of people still get magnets as gifts, especially for older people who can put them on their fridge. And it's just a beautiful concept idea. If you do that, I would take most of the time and spend it on actually making a lot of ideas and uploading a lot of products, in terms of, making sure that you really check out all the boxes. And I do know that a lot of people do stuff like that for holidays or for Merry Christmas or thank you. And I actually do know a lot of people that when they buy like magnets for thank you or for Christmas, they just, want to buy that little extra trinket to put in their gift. So they just buy in bulk. So if you ever land one of those, you're a lucky person. And with this, I would kind of recommend to try and play around with mockups and literally take the magnet mockup on the transparent field, put it on Canva, delete the background, and just place it on various types of fridge models and do the mockups manually yourself. And with that being said, we are done with the list. So we're going to go back to seeing me in the middle. Much better. If you liked any of these ideas, please let me know in the comment section below. If you do have an Etsy print-on-demand shop, or if you have a suggestion for a type of shop yourself, or if you have any questions about these type of shops, feel free to comment them down below. I do see a lot of potential in Etsy, even though a lot of people are saying that this is oversaturated, because it's not only about, getting traffic from Etsy, but also marketing yourself and getting traffic from yourself, because there is nothing oversaturated in the world in terms of marketing. We have everything from everything, and everyone is still selling and buying stuff. If you're looking into setting up your own Etsy store and you've never had an Etsy store, you can find a link in the description down below to open an Etsy store with 40 free listings. Etsy has basically a standing option for every seller to give out their link for 40 listings, and if you use my link, you get 40 free listings and I get 40 free listings, and it's sort of a way for Etsy that they started with at the beginning to basically rely on the fact that if you are an Etsy seller, then you have Etsy seller friends, and sort of like make people want to start up their shop, because I know that a lot of people are worried about putting the money up front. But 40 free listings is a good amount to get started with, especially if you're trying out print on demand. I will be seeing you guys tomorrow with a special Instagram marketing part 2 video, marketing yourself as a fashion brand. And even though it's going to be about a fashion brand, it could really relate to any type of brand as long as it's under the same concept of products, because that's going to be the concept of that Instagram. But I am going to lean into fashion, and this could be for people with Etsy stores for clothing. This could be for people who sell on print on demand websites like Redbubble and Society6, even merch by Amazon, as well as people who sell on their own Shopify or WooCommerce store. On the 25th, we have coming up Etsy print on demand customized option, which is basically sort of a mini tutorial on whether or not customized items on Etsy is for you and how you technically make customized anything print on demand on Etsy, and what tools you need to have, what kind of graphic skill you need to have, and sort of even brainstorming ideas for things that you can do that you might not have known that are trending or are even an option. On the 26th, we're going to go to a Design With Me tutorial where I'm going to show you a few different ways using different sort of platforms to create coloring pages. And these could be printable coloring pages or coloring pages you will later on use in KDP. And on the next day, on the 27th, we're going to be talking about all the options that you have to sell printable or physical coloring pages and coloring books. Following that, on the 29th, we have another shop review video. And I'm not sure that I will have the time to record it with another person. I'm going to try, but please let me know if you're interested in just watching me do shop reviews. If that is something that's interesting to you, I'm just going to record this one myself and, edit it and upload it, because I really do have a lot of shops to review, and I'm thinking I want to, because I really want to review all your shops because I've been getting a lot of links. Let me know if you want me to do just a shop review by myself, or if you're really just interested in the concept of having it with a guest. There is no right answer, just the truth. And one day after that, the last day of April, will be the 3rd Instagram marketing video tutorial about basically marketing yourself as a niche. And with that being said, I am done for today. These are incredibly busy days that I am super surprised that I even have time for YouTube. I've had a lot of friends maybe you should chill out with YouTube videos in the next few days, because I'm flying to Bulgaria on the 3rd of May and I have so many errands to run. But I really do wake up, on mornings that I wake up to do YouTube, I'm like, hey, 4 a.m. Let's write down the YouTube script and start making a YouTube video. And I think that is a lot thanks to you guys and live chats, because they are truly super fun for me. I sit down, with my snacks. Yesterday, I even streamed it on my TV. So it was quite fun. So thank you guys, because without your comments, your constant comments, and your engagement in this channel, I don't think that I would have that much motivation to do as many YouTube videos a month as I do. Like this video if you liked it, or subscribe to my channel if you're not yet subscribed and want to make sure to be notified whenever a video live premieres so you can join the live chat. And if you have seen any of my videos, you know exactly what I'm about to say right now, because the live chat is going to go away in 3, 2, 1, and I will see you on my next video. Bye!